Divine greetings and gratitude. How are you doing and how are you feeling? If you're new here, my name is Nuna. I am the seer, the witch, the poet, the writer, the wise woman, the sage of the Saiyonan archives and of the Saiyonan path. Welcome to your new spiritual sanctuary. And if you are returning, hello tribe, welcome back to our sacred space. I'm always honored, excited, and elated to be in your presence. Right now, we're going to be doing pick a card reading or pick a deck reading. The thing is that I'm doing a live shuffle because that's what I was simply just called to do. You are more than welcome to choose a pile. 1, 2, or 3. We're just going to do 3 today. We are not going to do 4. We're only going to do 3 piles. The messages that we're going to be focusing on today are celestial messages or messages from the skies, from the cosmos, from the galaxies. This is going to be a very intergalactic reading, if you will. I have been practicing some channeling in other ways recently, and I'm going to continue to open myself up to becoming a channel in a different way. So thank you so much for sticking around. I don't see what that card is. I'm going to close my eyes real quick, and then I'm going to go like this, and then I'm going to do that. I do not know what that was. I did not see it. You might have seen it, but I did not. Of course, okay? Anyway, so the links to the decks that I'm going to be using will be in the description box. If you guys don't see them down in the description box, can you let me know down in the comment section? Also, I noticed that I've been getting a lot more comments on my YouTube videos recently, which I am absolutely loving for us. And with that comes gratitude. Thank you so much for commenting down in the comments and leaving your messages, how you feel down in the comment section. It really does mean a lot when you guys speak, when you introduce yourselves, when you introduce yourselves, when you tell me how everything's going and whatnot. So basically the reason why I decided to do this reading was because I've been really deeply connected to a lot of celestial energy recently, and I have been called myself to not just embody that energy, which I'm already doing, but start presenting it a lot more in my own work, in my own way of doing things and whatnot. So I'm just gonna honor that, and I wanted to start that off by, of course, offering a reading to you guys. So thank you so much for okay. So for whatever reason, pile number 3, if you're choosing number 3, there's definitely something that I could tell that you are wanting to either discover, or it's like a hard yes to something. Like there's some type of activation with for those of you that are choosing pile number 3. And I say that because your cards keep wanting to show itself, and I'm like, no, I don't want to see it, right? Because I want to be not surprised, but I want to make sure that the messages that you're being given are honest and truthful, obviously, which they always are. But there's something about pile number 3 that I'm gravitating towards, not for myself, but for you. And now as I say that, cards keep wanting to jump into pile number 2. At least this deck is really wanting to speak a lot, like very loudly. So there's something very clear about this deck here, which is, I believe it's the Oracle of the Universe deck, I believe. Yeah. So anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me while I shuffle these cards. I know it's kind of a long intro. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Oh, I did not see that card. I don't know if you guys saw that. File number 3. What's going on, y'all? What is the deal? What is the tea? Because y'all are out here just wanting to show it all. Okay, so anyway, that's basically, those are the Oracle decks and that we're using. And I'll make sure to have them linked in the description box. And we're also going to be using Angel Angel Tarot cards by, I think it's Ratley Valentine. Sorry for butchering your name. Did not mean to do that. So yes, we're going to get started with using these. Don't know why. I'm just kind of call myself like shuffling the cards and turning them different ways. And anyway, thank you all so much for being patient with me throughout this process. I usually have these things prepared, but I really just kind of wanted to be in the moment with you all the way. And I just wanted us to also just, yeah, like just do it together. Like there's something about like journeying together. But anyway, thank you so much for picking your pile. We're gonna go ahead and now start with pile number 1. I know that took a while. I'm probably gonna be editing some of that out, but anyway, we're gonna start with pile number 1. I don't know what these messages are going to be at all whatsoever. How are you feeling? Can you let me know down in the comment section? The vibration of this reading is very, 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 very high, but also very ancestral. Like it's very ancestral, very cosmic, very intergalactic, very, just very celestial. Like I don't know why like the word is like celestial. Thank you so much, Spirit. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much to the angelic beings who want the best for hearts and spirits. Going to ask that you please allow me to be, wow, whoa, allow me to be the vessel that relays any messages that our soul tribe needs to hear. Thank you so much for protecting me as the reader. Thank you so much for protecting my soul tribe as those who are listening. Thank you so much for allowing these messages to come in with clarity, with precision, with the absolute most amazing love possible. Thank you so much, guides, Mother Earth to Mother Sky, Father Sky, Mother Sky, Father Earth, Mother Earth. Thank you so much for allowing me to be the vessel that relays any messages to the soul. So basically what I feel right now, it's so interesting that I wanted to just go ahead and get the prayer done, not because I did not value or I don't value prayer time, which I absolutely do, but I cannot help but feel the rush of the energy, right? And I want to do the best that I can to take my time with this. Now, one thing that I really do want to say is that with this is really making me feel like there's something that someone has really, really, really been taking their time on. There's something that someone has really been wanting to like align with. And also I also heard earlier while I was shuffling the cards that there was an angel or like a celestial being that wanted to work with you, or that like wants to work with you, or that has been showing up for you recently. If you chose pile number 1, then they are specifically coming up as archangels. The thing is though, is that these celestial bodies also govern these different types of angels, archangels, and things like that. But also when you think about that, I want you to go back further, despite the, I want you to go back further than any type of like Catholic version or even any Christian version. I want you to go back further, because when you go back further, sometimes these newer archetypes are just echoes of ancestral archetypes or ancestral energies and things like that. So I don't want you to only stick to just the archangel archetype. I want you to go back further, and I also want you to remember that when you're working with these beings or when you're working with these energies, that you're also working directly with the planet, because these archetypes are all representations or archetypes of these planetary energies and planetary bodies, at least if you believe them to be actually real, right? Like real beings without bodies. Then what you'd say, or what I would say to that is that think of it how you yourself are a compilation or a mixture of all of these different bodies with, you know, with your own unique balance or your own unique like footprint or like your own unique print that makes you you, your own unique mixture that makes you you. Maybe you're 80% Venusian and like 10% Mercury and like you know, whatever else, right? Or whatever these percentages are, they make you you. So think of these archetypes as that. So you may be working with a being that is predominantly Saturn, but then has a few other, you know, main other archetype, other energies. For example, like it may be like 98%. Well, no, that's a little bit excessive. You get what I mean? I feel like with these energies, I want you to go back further. I want you to go back ancestrally. The thing is, though, is I feel this has a lot to do with, I just heard like the word hierarchy, because this is definitely the Hierophant. You have the Ten of Pentacles, you have the Hierophant here, you have the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Two of Cups, and you have Balance, which is Temperance, right? So this angel here is Archangel Zadkiel. Okay, you might want to look this archangel up. So basically what this really does feel like is that there's someone that is finally coming either to terms with something, or there's something that you're here to teach something. Like you're here to give a message. You're here to create, to stabilize. You are here to not only take your time, but you're here to build. So there's something about, you come from like a civilization of people who were builders, who were architects. You come from a civilization excuse me. You come from a civilization of people who were builders, architects. You come from a symbolization of teachers, like of divine teachers, of angelic teachers. Like that's what it feels like. But the knowledge and things that you give, you set the tone, but you also like set the hierarchy is what I'm hearing. Like this is basically them saying that they're ready for you to start teaching, and that they're ready for you to start spreading the wisdom that you receive via your visions, that you receive via your dreams. There's something about you as an archetype yourself, that you are the walking embodiment of a certain archetypal energy. You may have been seeing this energy in numbers. You may have been seeing this in, you know, it may be coming up in conversations. You may have been seeing 1212. I'm getting an image of like 1212 or 1313 or whatever it may be. You may have been seeing like double numbers or like mirrored numbers. I'm hearing that you are a direct reflection of this energy, and you're here to help people balance themselves based on the knowledge you give. But with that also comes the knowing and the understanding that you yourself will have to expose, or you're going to end up exposing this aspect of them that is out of balance, that they need to pay attention to, and it may not always be favorable, but that's just what the messages are coming through of. Also, you're going to be given resources along the way to help you with your mission, to help you with your journey. That's not something that they want you to worry about. What they're saying is that I want you to vibrate at that frequency, and you are going to get that. We don't want you to be afraid. We know that you've been afraid. We know that you've been talked about. We know that you have been doing things that may be off-putting to others, but that does not make you any less of important, and it does not make you any less in the channel. If anything, these are the gateways, these are the initiations that you've had to go through in order to get here. You know exactly who your ancestors are. We live within you, and you yourself have to not only allow yourself to express that if you are going to experience joy, but you also have to understand that it comes with something. It comes with something. But the sacrifice that you believe to be a sacrifice really is just a part of your mission. It's not that you're losing anything. What you are losing is control, but you know that you no longer have that control. And that is exactly what you need right now to help you set the foundation and the tone for these newer generations that are coming after you. The newer generations that are being born now are going to look to you for guidance. But not only that, there's something that you are here to help clean. When you help to clean up this mess, when you help to bridge the gap between these worlds, you will then be the usher that paves the way for other generations to come through to then create more beauty in the world. But you yourself are the architect. You are yourself are an archetypal energy. You yourself are the embodiment of an energy that you believe to be archetypal, which is actually very literal in some senses. What you do want to do is open yourself up to love, open yourself up to these resources, open yourself up to this help, because without you doing so, you're going to have a really hard time on your mission, but at the same time, you're making it harder for yourself not receiving it. So you have to ask yourself, am I worthy of receiving? And if I believe that I am not, then why do I choose to attach myself to these beliefs? Why do I choose to attach myself to these beliefs? Why do I keep subscribing to the idea that this is not what I am meant to do? Why do I allow my ego, that is a tool, to continue to guide me when I know that I use my ego as a way to differentiate myself from others, but that is what helps me give me a unique blueprint? It's never meant for separation. It's meant to be inclusive, but also standing out. That's what you're meant to do. You're meant to stand out. You are going to be given the tools and the resources, but allow yourself to receive them, because your life has been about you experiencing the world in a certain perception and a certain viewpoint. And so because you come from a background where you felt that you were in poverty, you expect poverty, but we are not going to give you poverty. We're also not going to stand in your way for creating poverty for your life, because that's what you want. If you want poverty, then we will not restrict you from poverty. We are trying to show you a different way because you have asked for us to. However, if you choose poverty over the abundance that we are willing to help you get to receive, which you already have it, then we are not going to stop you. We cannot tell you how to live your life. We can only present to you the ideas. We can only present to you the opportunities and the energy. You have to feel that there will be a resonance. That is why you have here your Two of Cups, because for you, this means alignment, right? But at the same time, you have to ask yourself, am I truly ready to align with this thing? And if I am, what part of me needs to be shed in order for me to receive this thing? There is 100% balance needed, and you are coming into alignment. But this alignment means that you have experienced a lot of catastrophe or a lot of destruction in your life. You have a very close relationship with death. At this time, we are asking for you to align with the highest vibration that you possibly can. We hope that we've been showing that our ways of showing up for you have been recognizable. You know who we are. We don't need to reveal ourselves through the channel, but you know who we are because you have seen us. We have come to you in your dreams. We have seen you at the lake. That is a message for you. And we're going to go ahead and continue. Wow, shadow self, exactly. So you have shadow self here, and I find it to be quite interesting because I feel like we may have mentioned, I don't remember if, I think we might have mentioned shadow self. Anyway, we have shadow self here. I feel really confused at the moment. Give me a minute. Okay, so basically we also have be still. Higher heart activation. Dropping shields, divine love, your heart is healed. Okay. And you also have guardianship. Draco guardianship. Okay. So the fact that you have shadow self here, guardianship, be still, higher heart activation, I cannot help but feel like you're here to lead people out of heartache. You're here to lead people out of this lower vibrational state. And it's not the fact that you're better than them. It's just the fact that you've seen what they've seen, and you have experienced certain things that may be relatable or unrelatable, but at the same time, it really does feel like you're here to be the one to lead them out of it. And I feel like you're here to help them like transcend beyond some type of suffering. But you're also here to be a teacher. You're here to be legendary. You're here to share your knowledge in a certain way. And I also feel like you are here as like a bridge, or like as, I don't know why I'm here like spokesperson, but you speak on behalf of these like celestial energies. You speak on behalf of the stars. Like you may be able to read astrology charts, or you may be an astrologer, or you may be looking into getting into astrology. But I also am hearing something about like you being some type of like either elder or some type of and even if you're like not the elder type, you do carry an energy that is very close to, I don't know why I'm hearing like Scorpio. Like I'm hearing like scorpionic energy as well. But you're here to like transmute that shadow aspect into light that people can gravitate towards, but also to help themselves. With Draco guardianship, I do feel like this is you being the guardian of like sacred knowledge. And I feel like you're here to interpret this sacred knowledge. You're here to use either the occult, magic, mysticism, ancestral wisdom, celestial wisdom, sorcery, whatever it may be, and use that in a way to teach people to tap into the higher aspect of themselves. Because how can they go higher if they don't know what being low means? And like that's interesting that that's coming through, because there's also this strong dualistic pull, or this dualistic dance, this polar dance that I see happening. And I'm also seeing like yin and yang. So you may be here to like help people integrate these different aspects of themselves to help them become whole. You may be here to use magic, mysticism, witchcraft, whatever it may be, or maybe some type of like spiritual studies to not only make sense of things, but to put the pieces together for people to help them journey. You also have here Archangel Sandalphon, I believe. I don't know. Traditional viewpoints or methods, spiritual organizations, seek out mentors and like-minded friends. I see this more so as you being the one that people seek, because there's something about you leveling up and like you gaining more knowledge and wisdom that they come to you for. And I feel like that's where you're headed in this life. Like you're now, like there's a part of you that is being activated where you are now going to start aligning with people who need your guidance. The fact that they're asking you to be still, and the fact that you do have balance here, they're asking you to go into meditation or into these meditative states. You may want to amp up your meditation game and meditate a little bit longer. If you've been doing it for 33 minutes, you may want to do it for an hour and 3 minutes. I mean, I'm not, you know, whatever it may be, but they're asking for you to do more meditation. Higher heart activation, dropping shields, divine love, your heart is healed. There's something that someone could possibly have been rejecting, and you're being asked to open up and to take your time, of course, yes, but also be still enough to differentiate whether you are rejecting this because you're afraid of, or you may have like a self-worth issue between you setting a boundary and you having conviction and you using your discernment. What I also feel like is with this be still, they're wanting you to be still and not be so hyperactive and like want to control everything to the point where you block the blessing that they're trying to give you. So you do have guides here that are wanting to give more to you. You just have to be open to receiving that, because it's what's going to help you along your journey. I hope that this message resonated. I really do appreciate the fact that you are here and that you listened to the messages so far. If there's anything that you do need from me, thank you so much for visiting me online over at thesayonanpath.org. You guys can also follow along with me on Instagram over at the Saiyonan Path and over at Magic of Eden. Please remember that I do have books available online that are available for reserve if you guys would like to dive deeper into my poetry and also dive into my creative arts. I would love that, because I'm passionate about art, poetry, and writing and things of that nature. So yes, if there's nothing else, I love you, and I will catch you in my next video. All right, if you chose pile number 2, this is your reading. Thank you so much for coming back. Can I be honest? I don't know. I don't remember pretty much anything that happened to pile number 1. I remember like giving like a message, and then from there it just like I don't know what happened. It's so wild. I don't remember feeling anything like malevolent or anything like that. I do remember feeling like, okay, clearly there's messages coming through right now, and clearly something your guides were really wanting to share some information. So if you are here from pile number 1, this could be a continuation for you, or this could be new messages that you have coming through to help you now. Thank you so much for tuning in, for listening to these messages. Let's go ahead and get back into it. So the card here in the middle, we have the Page of Earth, which will be the Page of Pentacles here. There's something that you could push, that you could possibly be getting into. I do want to sit down for a moment and just kind of pull back and just kind of observe real quick. Whatever you're starting, you really want to keep going with that. You really, really, really want to keep going with that. What they're saying, okay, the way that this is coming up is that it's coming up as somebody calling you out. What I'm hearing is that you start something, but then you don't finish it because you're either swayed in this direction. It's like you're being pulled in by someone else's current. It could be someone else's ideas. It could be how they feel about what you're doing. It could be you knowing and you studying it and you getting into something and you being passionate about it and you creating a plan to keep going with it, and then something or someone comes in being like a little trickster, or they see what you're doing but they're feeling like, okay, well, you don't need to be doing it this way. I see it better for you this way, because they want to calculate your work and they want to feel, and they feel like they just have some type of control over you. I'm hearing for you not to be swayed by anybody else's opinions, and I'm hearing for you to not allow them to dictate what you want to do. If this is something that you're really wanting to take your time with, if you're studying it, if you're getting into it, then what I'm hearing your guides say is that it's okay for you to do that. They're not wanting you to be swayed by people's opinions. They're not wanting you to be swayed by what they want. If anything, exactly, you have the 3 of Cups here. I don't like how this makes me feel, but I'm going to go deeper into it because it's layered. What I'm feeling, wow, so you have 7s here. You have 7 of wands and 7 of swords. Right. So what I'm feeling right, oh, and you also have the 6 of swords in reverse. I don't know why I just heard I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you. This could be somebody saying to you, or they may have the intention to challenge you based off of what your beliefs are. But I also feel like it's one of those things where they're asking you to stand your ground on something. Stand your ground. If it's something that you know is worth investing your time in, you want to keep going with that. But there's something about how either you or someone you know, you'll change your mind because of pressure, because of like external pressure. Like so much of your life, you've been told what to do, what to think, how to be, how to present yourself, how to be more pleasant, how to be this way and that way to make everybody else comfortable. But then when it comes to yourself and you doing what you want to do, you receive judgment, you receive backlash, you receive something or something hurtful in return. But the thing is that you never asked for anything. All you really did was just be and just exist. And then people decided that they wanted you to be who they wanted you to be because they feel more comfortable. And that's where Spirit is saying, I'm drawing the line there, because if this is what you want, then we're going to have to allow ourselves to move away. But the question is, why don't you? There is a fear here for someone. They fear being alone. For other people, they fear the judgment that comes with them studying themselves. They fear being, I just heard that you fear looking stupid in front of people. You could never look stupid in front of anybody. The Magician card is here to let you know. The Magician is here to let you know that you are someone. Okay, it says you're ready. You have the resources or the ability to manifest them. Life is magical. I really do feel like you have something. I'm hearing that you have something that they don't have. And I just heard a humble spirit. The Magician. I want you to keep investing in this study or in this thing that you have, or I want you to keep studying. You may be into environmentalism is what I'm hearing. You may be into like earth studies or studying the earth, plants, herbs. You may have I don't know why I'm hearing like environmentalism. Like I keep hearing something about environmentalism. I'm seeing some type of humanitarian effort that you have going on or that you may want to get into. You find magic in life when you're cleaning the earth, planting seeds, planting things along the way, along the highway, or along like up like up the street. Like you may be looking into starting like a community garden, or it could be you contributing to something. I'm seeing like pottery and like planting and things to do with the earth, and like getting your hands in the earth and in the soil and taking care of the soil. I'm seeing something with mushrooms, and I'm seeing like decaying, like something is like there's like a body decaying. My mind is like moving like a mile a minute, y'all. For those of you that know. For those of you that don't know, when I start stuttering or fumbling and falling over my words, it's because my mind is moving a mile a minute and my mouth is trying to keep up. But I'm seeing something like decay in the ground, and then there's mushrooms growing from it. So there's something about you, either you were in one stage of life, and then that part of you was given, like you offer that part of you. It's almost, that reminds me of a ritual that I did like when I was after I had my second child. It reminds me of when I let the hospital know that they would not have my placenta, that I would be taking it home, and I took my placenta home. Best believe I did. When I learned very quickly, and it's not about me, I'm just giving you this as an example. I learned, like, no, this is my body created it. You are not going to take what I have. You are not going to take what my body created to supply nutrients to my baby and then use it in your studies. You're not going to do that. This was something that I made with my body, with the magic within me, with my perfect design. And I'm taking it home, and I took it home. And then I went to my, at the time I had went to someone's house who, she was like a sister to me. I took it to her home, and we buried it in the backyard, and I gave it along with an offering of 3 apples. And I told Mother Earth, I love you. I thank you so much for everything you've given me. And I gave her my love. I gave her my tears, and I gave her my placenta, and I buried it. Absolutely. Whether there is a tree growing there or not at this time, I'm not too sure. But all I do know is that I did bury it deep within the earth, and I gave it to the earth. And it was the best thing that I ever did for myself and for Earth Mother. And so that was my own act of spiritual environmentalism, where I gave part of my own body to the earth, or something that came from within my body to her as a thank you. And I see you doing something similar to that. You may be burying your placenta if you have, if you're pregnant, or you may have had a similar story, or you may be giving parts of yourself and giving them to the earth as a thank you. Or you may, and that's so interesting because there's so much magic in your offerings. And there's so much magic in your offering. Like, I don't know why I was brought to share that story with you, but what they're saying is, your guides are like, I don't want you to fight against it. I also feel like with this 3 of Cups here, it's really making me feel like those who say that they'll celebrate you in your face, they may not have those same intentions behind your back. And it's one of those things where you have to have the strength enough to walk away if this is the case, but also have the heart open enough for you to celebrate and for you to allow people in who will celebrate with you. The 7 of Fire here, I do feel like it's one of those things where you don't have to fight for anything. If anything, you may have made to feel like you had to fight for certain things in life, but you don't have to allow that to be the story that permeates throughout your existence. You don't have to allow that to be the absolute storyline for yourself. And so with that, I preclude that it's time for you to allow whatever this is to be. And I also feel like I kind of see you blocking people. Like, I don't know why I see you blocking someone so that you can focus. I see you focusing your attention on your studies right now. I just don't see it. Like, I see you allowing people into your space who have common interests, of course, but I also see you saying, I'm not going to allow you to steer me away from anything because you don't vibe with what I believe in. You have let go here. You have gratitude. You have memories of Atlantis, spiritual acceleration, progress, technology. I'm seeing somebody really just, they're progressing, but they're learning. Like, they're learning something. You may be learning a new system. You may be learning a new form of divination. You may be learning more about the stars. Like, this is something about someone embarking on a journey of learning. It's something that you invest in that you could potentially capitalize off of later, but right now it's just simply you're just simply studying it right now. I don't know why I see that. You also have here Andromeda, sacrifice. Give me 1 second. Let me light up. Okay. Okay, there we go. So yeah, it really does feel like I said, like someone is really just, I don't know why I just keep wanting to say that I'm learning. You could be looking up old stories of Atlantis right now. And the more that you study, the more you remember. It's like this path of remembrance. Your path of remembrance requires you to learn to study, to gain knowledge, and to surround yourself with people that allow you to express you. Also, I do feel like with this let go here, I'm gonna be real with you. I see that you're gonna be letting go of some friend groups, you're gonna be dropping them. I don't know why, like I'm seeing like eyelashes falling everywhere and like cut hair everywhere, and it's like you're clipping them off like bad dead ends, like, you know what I mean? And you're like, nope, I need to clip this off, I need to clip that off, I need to refine it. So I see you refining your circle right now as you so that you can eliminate the distractions. I'm seeing you eliminate a distraction. I also just caught a vision of a rainbow. Rainbows may be very significant to you right now, but they're also indications that you yourself are not going to have to experience hell, that there is something that is reflective of your inner light, of the light that you truly exude. Whatever you're studying is a reflection of the light within you. And with this Magician card here, I do see that you're going to end up, I don't know why I'm hearing like you're going to end up coming across someone, or you're going to end up coming across something that's going to validate your experience and what you're studying. Like what you're studying is going to end up becoming the embodiment of something. Like you're going to embody it, or you're going to create something that shows the world what you've been studying and what you're proud of. That's what I'm hearing for pile number 2. I know that these messages are so different and that they're not the same. I know, I get it. Like the vibrations are different. I know that the messages are very different. I get that. But I also want you to please just keep an open mind. Take what resonates, allow something else that is a gift for someone else to be used as such, right? And that's just kind of where I'm at. Like that's where we're at right now. I just feel like you are someone that there's something that, again, like you're learning, that you're progressing, that you're learning, you're accelerating, of course, but you're also accelerating and learning and heightening and becoming more expanded through knowledge and wisdom. Also, with this sacrifice here, it says Andromeda. You may very well have close ties to Andromeda, of course, if that's something that you believe in. I also do hear, I just heard the word astronomy. I don't know if you're like looking into astronomy or if you combine astrology with astronomy, right? Astronomy is more of the scientific study of the stars, right? The galaxies, things of that nature. Astrology is the more symbolic aspect of it, where you use symbols, it's purely intuitive, whereas astronomy is more rational, it's more rigorous, it's more masculine. Astrology is a lot more feminine. Again, it's more symbolic in nature and things like that, although you can combine both. So this could be your way of combining both your masculine and feminine qualities and whatnot, whereas you're combining astrology with astronomy because you can use the rigor and the meticulousness of the rational aspect of astronomy and merge it and give it more layers to your more irrational, your more feminine, your more symbolic aspect of astrology, if that makes sense. And just because I use the word irrational does not mean that it is wrong or that it is inferior. If anything, irrational means that you just simply it doesn't operate within the same I almost kind of wanted to say like conservative laws, but that's not what I meant to say. It's same restrictive laws as you would with astronomy or with mathematics and things of that nature. So that's the reason why I said that. So this could be you combining the two, but that's the power of you being the magician, is that you use everything. You don't leave or rule anything out. I'm saying you take things and you blend them together to create your own unique system, and that's what you're going to be known for. That's what you're going to be well known for. Okay. The sacrifice is you're going to have to, whether you want this to or not, if you are wanting something to manifest, you are going to have to cut people off. They are being very firm and very strict with that. If you want this, you're going to have to cut them off. You are not meant to be on their timeline anymore. If you wish to suffer, keep them. If you wish to grow, let them go. Your guides love you, by the way. as do I. That is it. That is all. If there is anything that you all need from me, please feel free to visit me online over at thesayonanpath.org. Thank you so much for following along with me here. Make sure that you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also, if you would like to, you guys can follow along with me on Instagram over at thesayonanpath, as well as at Magic of Eden. I am always honored and excited to be in your presence. I love you, and I'll catch you in my next video. All right, if you chose pile number 3, this is going to be your reading. Let's go ahead and get started. Yo, those first couple of piles, I was trying my best to get through those. And we got through it. We got through it. I have to start working with these types of energies a lot more, like a lot more. I don't care what people say over the internet, working with these energies are not always as easy, and in some cases they are 100% effortless. I don't know why that's the message for somebody. Not everything is as effortless, but when you get it, you got it. Wow. It's so interesting how I want to be quiet with this pile, but then your pile was the loudest and now you're quiet. I wonder what that is. You have the 10 of Cups and you have the Queen of Cups. We're going to leave these cards out. You also have the Empress and the High Priestess. You have the World card here. You have the Three of Wands. Okay. Divine Feminine archetype, Divine Feminine matriarch, Divine Feminine, like, just like Divine Feminine, like Divine Feminine all the way. Of course it would be Divine Feminine because you have the Empress and the High Priestess here. So this lets me know immediately that you are someone who is here to bring balance to the world by way of integrating the Divine Feminine in all of its forms. That is what you're here to do. You have something in common with the first pile. If you did not listen to the first pile, I would definitely say go listen to that pile, because this is going to be your continuation. I'm hearing Spirit say this is the outcome. This is the outcome. You are a divine mother. You are the divine mother archetype. Wow. You have the 10 of Cups, you have the 3 of Wands, you have the Empress card, you have the High Priestess, you have the World, and you also have the Queen of Cups. Is there anything else that you are wanting? And you also have, oh my God, you have a really strong connection. Listen, you have a really strong connection to the mystic arts. You have a very strong connection to healing. You also have the Hermit here. You have a really strong connection to wow, the cards that you guys are getting, you cannot make this up at all. You have the Queen. I'm going to put the Queen of Wands over here. You have the Ace of Cups here. And then at the bottom of the deck, you have here this Eight of Swords. This is one of those readings where you have a lot of cards laying out before you, but the messages are going to be very straightforward. Very straightforward. You have a really strong connection to the moon. Obviously, you have a strong connection to witchcraft. You have a strong connection to celestial magic, planetary magic, the occult, ancestral magic, ancestral knowledge, ancestral wisdom. You are the embodiment of these energies. you are some type of archetypal, like you are the archetype, like you are the example. And I'm not saying this to blow your head up, but what I am saying is that you are someone who has a close connection to the taboo. This is giving me moon and 8th house energy. Like this moon with the high priestess, either a Pisces moon, a Scorpio moon, Cancer sun, 8th house moon, moon in Sagittarius, moon in the 1st house Pisces, moon in the 1st house Scorpio, the way you express yourself, Chiron in the 8th house, Chiron in Pisces, Chiron in Scorpio, Chiron in Cancer, Cancer rising. Like there's something about like these different types of like energies. Mayat is coming through. That energy, that archetype, like the Divine Mother archetype, fairness, justice, law. For some of you, it's Hecate. For some of you, it's an ancestral priestess. It's like an ancestral priestess or like the equivalent of one. You are a seer, like you're the seer, like you're the seer archetype, but you use your knowledge of seeing and your gifts of seeing to help bring abundance and love and harmony to the world. People may not receive you immediately, but once they get past the fact that you're this or you're that or these labels and whatever it may be, they will see the light you bring. They said terrible things about you, yes, but they didn't understand you. They feared you. They fear you and they don't know it. They fear you and don't know it. That's not your fault. Don't allow yourself to be so caught up in their fear that you neglect your path, that you neglect your joy, that you neglect what you are here to do. Because a part of your mission is to get through the fire or the fires or the hells of the perceptions and opinions of people. And when you get past that, you'll see just how much power you have. I'm telling you guys, this feels truly like you have such an abundance of beauty, abundance of love, an abundance of Venusian energy, but it kind of gets overshowered and overpowered by the negative association with what you do. You may be someone who is a witch. You may be a seer. You may be an oracle. You may be whatever it may be. You are a magical being that is the embodiment of a divine feminine matriarchal energy. You are emotionally intelligent. Allow that to be the part of you that you show the world. Spirit is asking you to share your visions with the world. You may be on YouTube. You may be on some type of platform. You may be doing something where you have public attention, and Spirit is saying, is like, I want you to show the world what it looks like when you walk your path, the path of the seer, the path of the witch, the path of the sage, and still follow your dreams and still share your art, because your art is inspired by your visions. Your art is inspired by your intuitive downloads. Your intuitive downloads or your intuition is the guide. You want to follow your vibe on this one. You've had visions, the things that you feel, I'm telling you, I feel honestly like you've had visions and dreams of this. Like whatever you dream of, whatever you have visions of, they've been handing you clues. They've been handing you, like, they meaning your guides, your spirit guides, your angels, archangels, whatever you believe in, this, the highest beings from the highest realms of this universe. Like they are walking with you. They love you. And what they're saying is that if you need support, support you shall get. Open up, ask. Even if it seems like it's a lot, ask anyway, because you need to be given abundantly. You have seen way too much for you not to receive enough in return. The Empress here, it says Archangel Gabriel, lavish abundance, give birth to your dreams, nurture yourself and others. You are here to nourish the world. You are here as a humanitarian. You are here to give healing waters to the world. I would be working with the color blue right now, and I will also be working with Jupiter. I would work with Jupiter. I would work with Neptune. I would work with I want to say Uranus as well. low-key. Like, I would work with Uranus, but I would work with those energies right now, because there's something, especially Venus, because Venus is a ruler of art. She's exalted in Pisces, which is so amazing. So there's something about the exaltation of Venus and the exaltation of the moon, wherever it would be exalted in, right? And I also do feel like, where in this instance, what it does feel like is that you bring about this version of a seer that the world may not be comfortable with yet, but when they start to truly see you past however you look, past your physical beauty, or past your, what the world would say, lack thereof, which I don't believe that about you. I believe that we all have beauty in our own way. So I couldn't judge you as, you know, beautiful or not, because I feel like we all are beautiful in our own way. Like, I truly feel that way. And I'm not someone that judges people based off of how they look. I tend not to judge as much as possible, but I do use my discernment, right? But my discernment is not fueled or led by how you look physically. I can give a rat's ass about that, excuse my French, but I don't give a shit about how you look. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't care. I feel like, for me, and this is just me kind of coming through without being a guide or a channel, that at the end of the day, you still 100% deserve to take up space, despite how people view you or how they feel about you. It is what it is. If they feel like they have an issue with you, then so what? Like, let them have an issue with you, because at the end of the day, they have to live with that issue that they have with you. You don't have to live with that. So let them have their opinions, let them be who they are. Try not to take their opinions away, because that's selfish, right? Like, let's twist it. Like, it's selfish for you, for us, to take away people's opinions. No, let them have that, because that's the only thing that they'll ever really have their own. And guess what? An opinion is just simply a thought, and you can't own those. They come and they go, and sometimes they're not even ours. So joke's on them, in a way. Going back to being a guide. So basically what I feel, you guys, is that you specifically, though, like, there's some people who are not going to resonate. Great, it's not for everybody. But what I will say is that with this Empress and the High Priestess is that you are here to combine you're here to combine magic. You work with the elements, this earth magic, right, and this water magic. I'm seeing like earth and water magic, but I'm also seeing fire magic, which is interesting, because you do have the Queen of Wands here. You also have the Hermit, of course, and you have the Three of Wands. So you have a very healthy amount of water, earth, and fire. The World card, I don't know why it's bringing me to air as well. It's bringing me to air as well, even though it's a Saturn ruled card. The World, Archangel Michael. A job well done, joy, contentment, and gratitude. The path toward enlightenment. It's so interesting, because I see you sharing your fire with the world. I just heard fire Reiki, or like fire priestess. Like, you're a priestess of all elements, actually. I just heard the elemental priestess. Like, you're someone who uses this divine feminine energy. You have here transformation. I'll get back to that in a second. You have transformation. You have belief here. You also have ancestral realm. Wow. Karmic release, healing the lineage and boundaries. And then you have Canis Major, exhilaration. Okay, I see this as like a breath of fresh air, but I also see you being some type of like divine mother archetype. You are becoming the archetype of a mother for the world, like a global mother. Oh my goodness, this is so interesting. This is so interesting. Okay, the reason why I say that it's interesting is because what you are meant to communicate, you're meant to communicate in a way that is like a divine mother, and you're meant to communicate and share your magic with the masses. This is massive. This is global. Whoever chose this pile, this is global. This stretches beyond your community. This stretches beyond your immediate circle. This is global. You can't fake this. What I'm gonna say also is that there's something about your pain and what you experience that you overcame that will also be the antidote for the world. You're gonna shift the world in some way. Like, this is not one of those, I'm here to influence the world, I'm here to, be popular. Nope, you're not here to be popular. I'm not gonna tell you that. You're not gonna be the popular type. If you're listening to this, you are not the popular type. You may have fell into that category at one point in time, but you're not meant to be popular. You're meant to be legendary. And it is what it is. Like, people can feel how they feel about that, but you're a legend. You're not here for pop culture. You're here to help the culture heal. Like, like, let's be real. Like, let's be honest. It's not to say that that popular people are not important. Okay, fine. I'm not going to measure the value of a human based on popularity. I feel like we're all people at the end of the day. We're all having a human experience. But at the same time, like I said, you're here to be legendary. And I'm going to stick to that. I'm not going to say anything less. Like, I'm not going to diminish your light because I'm just so jealous and I just can't, tell you what the truth is. And that's another thing. You may be someone who experiences that, where people try to downplay your gifts. Like, and this is me relating to you in a certain way before I end the chat or exit the chat. But I've had very few people who have read my chart, and those few people who read my chart, they don't go as deep. Like, they never went very deep. They gave me surface level information, and I could feel, as a priestess myself, as a wise woman myself, as a sensitive myself, I could tell that there was something about my chart that they just were not wanting to say, because I felt it. Like, you know how you feel it without words? Like, you just kind of feel it and you're like, you know what, now something else is like missing. Like, you know what I mean? And so I would ask them like more questions to prompt, and like I wouldn't really get much else, and I'm like, oh, okay, I see what kind of time they're on. Like, you know what I mean? And this is me even being, an astrologer at the time myself, because there were times where I wanted others to read myself without me having to do it, especially when it was in my earlier days. Anyway, moving forward, I learned very quickly that nope, you're gonna have to just kind of be the energy regardless, because not everyone's going to give you that validation. If you're looking for validation by others, they won't give you that. If anything, they'll give you jealousy in return instead. And that is a divine redirection from the universe. Like I was saying, I do feel like it's not even just about what you believe in, it's about what you know. And Spirit is saying is that if you know that you're going to be happy, you will. You have the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups. I see that you yourself, when you get yourself out there and you present healing to the world, when you keep at it, you may have an Ethereum, well, I have the Ethereum, but you may have an apothecary, you may have healing, you may have teas, oils, herbs, whatever it may be. You do some type of healing through herbalism, through herbs, and the use of herbs and magic and mysticism, and share that. Put that in your art. Share that with the world. That's the facet of it. The fact that the Hermit this card is ruled by Virgo. Virgo is a medicine man in the zodiac. Where does Virgo fall in your chart? We do have a new moon coming up in Virgo. I want you to set your intention on being and embodying this archetype when it comes through, or when that new moon is here. You may already be in the process of doing so. And with that, I do commend you. And with that, I want you to feel as exhilarated as possible. I also want you to know that you are also here to cut ties. You are here as the embodiment of these former mothers who did not have a voice, who could not use their voice because they were shut off from the world, because the world told them who they could not be, because the world told them that they were not worthy of being seen, because the colonizers said, we fear you, even though they really didn't say that. But the colonizers feared your ancestors so much to the point where they had to diminish their power, but not this time. With the Queen of Fire here, with the Queen of not swords. I don't know why I keep wanting to say the Queen of Swords. With the Queen of Wands, she is unapologetically mysterious. She's fun, she's vibrant, and she withholds certain things when she needs to. But it's that mystery that draws people to you. Embody the mystery and you will be surprised. People aren't going to give a damn about how you look. They're going to go based off of how they feel when they're around you. And that's the magic that you work. And then they may not even they may feel ashamed of it at first, but then eventually they'll give into the current. They'll give into those waters because they know that it's healing. They know that it's healing. 33 here, that's bringing me to 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. 1 plus 2 is 3, 33. You may have also had a very strong significance to the number 9 recently. 99 is coming through with that one. You are also, mark my words, you're about to come into some type of resource. You're coming into some kind of money to help you along your journey. Something emotionally fulfilling is about to happen. Somebody sees you. Keep sharing your messages. Keep spreading your messages. Keep posting. Keep posting. Keep spreading. You are going to get there. You are there. Embody the energy. Be the energy. Be the archetype. Be the priestess. Be the priest. Be the whatever. Just be it. Just be it. Be it in your own life, be it behind the scenes, be it in the forefront, be it everywhere. Just be the energy. When you're by yourself, you're still an herbalist. When you're by yourself, you're still a witch. When you're by yourself, you're still, of course, having the human experience. You are still a seer. You are still a sage. You are still all of that, whether the cameras are on or not. And that's what makes the process magical. Aries energy here as well, by the way. Aries, Sagittarius, Pisces, Cancer, Capricorn, Virgo. All right. Oh, I love that. Look at that. You also have, I don't know why, I feel like I could go so much deeper with this reading, but I feel like Spirit is like, no. You said enough, my child. Leave it alone. Okay, one more thing before I go. I want you to start keeping track of the moon, and I want you, I'm sure you already do, but I want you to start really paying attention to these lunar phases outside of social media and outside of other people, because that's what's going to help strengthen your intuitive muscle, and it's what's going to help strengthen your, or raise your chances, or increase your chances of becoming that archetype for the world to trust, because it's gonna radiate all throughout your craft, all throughout your magic. I'm seeing the 10 of Pentacles as you reaping the benefit of you sharing your craft with the world. Also, you are leaving behind all fears that keep you. Exactly. Look at that. Exactly. Oh my goodness. How magical it is that you have these 3 cards as well. 3 of air, 3 of swords, 10 of swords, and 8 of swords. You're basically in the process of letting go of the past pain and the hurt. You've been crying a lot recently with this one. You've been coming to terms with a lot of this recently, and you're also letting go of the fear. You're letting go of certain fears, self-sabotage, limitations, absolutely. And you're embracing your uniqueness. These are unicorns here. You're unique. Exactly. You're a unicorn in a field of donkeys. Donkeys are very beautiful, by the way. Donkeys are funny as hell. Anyway, I love you so much. If there's anything that you need... Oh, I just heard the word satyr. Or like, centaur. Centaur energy's coming through for someone. I just heard to read the story of Orion. Read the story of Orion. And read the story of Chiron. I just heard that. Okay. Anything else, Spirit, before we go? Okay. I love you guys so very much. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in. Oh my God. Why? I turned the deck over, and why did we have release? Number 13. You cannot be for real. That's so wild. As I'm getting ready to end it. And this is the death card. The end of a phase or situation, spiritual transformation, time to move on. You actually do have transformation here somewhere. So yes, you are becoming the embodiment of something, and I love that for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you need anything else from me, please feel free to visit me online over at thesayonanpath.org. You guys can also follow along with me on Instagram over at thesayonanpath and over at the Magic of Eden Instagram. You guys can leave me a comment down in the comment section. I love you. And yes, I will catch you in my next video.